Hey you guys, this is going to be your second suggested top 5 decks for beginner readers, and this is the Oracle card suggestion. So these are my top 5 Oracle decks that I would suggest if you are a beginner reader. This is pretty much a fave of a lot of readers. It's a very popular deck on YouTube. You might already have this deck, but this is the beginner's deck, one of the top that I would suggest. This is the Romance Angels Oracle deck by Dorian Virtue. Like I said in the previous video, Dorian Virtue's decks are usually very good for beginners. She does a good job at, like in most of her decks, or not, if not all of them, they always have, you know, something at the bottom that kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. The thing about Oracle though is, well, for me, because I'm more of a visual reader, I pay attention to colors, what's going on in the picture, the action, the movement, people's facial expressions, the colors that they're wearing, the numbers involved, things like that. You can pretty much take a lot from Oracle. It's not so structured like the tarot. So this, with intuitives, I feel like oracles are good to start with before you get into tarot. Tarot's always good to read because of the structure is good too, but it's also good to expand your intuition and kind of look beyond certain things, like this means this and this is the only way that this means this or whatever. Oracle gives you that open field for your intuition to explore. These are good. Everybody loves love, so these are like the perfect deck. Oracles are really straight to the point. Most of the time when you pull it, there's no second guessing. If it's with tarot, it's like it can mean multiple things. When you pull a tarot card, your mind is like, well, I know it means this, but it could also mean that. So it's like you can't have a hit or miss really with Oracle. It's straightforward. So you pull one card and it's straight to the point, tells you something. Like all tarot decks and oracle cards, they have guidebooks. She has guidebooks. She gives you a meaning, interpretation of what each card represents and what they mean. She also, like all tarot decks and oracle cards, they tell you how to shuffle, how to ask the question. They give you 3 card spreads. She doesn't really give you too many ideas for spreads, but guidebook is there for you if you need it. But like I said, she does a good job with giving you a description on the card already. But there's, you know, there's more detail, or you can use your own intuition and pick up what you're getting. So this is a good deck for love readings, of course. It's a fan favorite and it's easy to use. I do love this deck. I use it for almost a lot of my readings because a lot of my readings are usually geared towards love. But that's the deck I use. This deck, I did mention this one in the tarot. I actually added the Psychic Tarot deck in the tarot, even though it's an oracle. These are oracle decks. The John Holland decks, he has the Psychic Tarot and the Psychic Tarot for the Heart, which I suggest. I love this deck too. It's similar to his Psychic Tarot, but this is more towards like love and matters of the heart. The names are different even, but they do a good job by sticking to the tarot, with the exception that they don't go past the 9s. So, you know, tarot has the aces through the 10s. They don't have that. They also don't have the pages, the king and the queens and the knights. They don't have that in this deck. They substitute it with the chakras. So they have chakras in this deck also. They have major arcanas. The blue cards are, the blue borders are the swords energy, so the mental and the communicative. Their major arcanas are worded differently, some of them. This would be the chariot card. The blue border, or the purple borders, represents the wands element. So this would be the 6 of wands. This is the believe and succeed. So they give you an idea of what each card represents. The red borders would represent the pentacles. So this would be the 2 of pentacles. They do a very good job at like giving you a description of what each card would mean in tarot. So this would be the cups. The green borders are the cups energy, which is the heart, you know, love, emotions. Then you got the chakra cards. So I like the fact that they add the chakras in this deck too. If you're interested in learning about chakras or like adding it to your reading, what chakra needs to be healed for this or that. In his deck, he does give you, or in his guidebook, he does give you the spreads that you can use, different ideas for spreads. Gives you the numerology too. He also breaks down different psychic abilities, psychic developments, he calls it. He has a clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance meanings, color interpretation, numerologic meanings, symbols and images. I like that how he breaks it down. Then he goes into the major arcana cards, gives you a detailed description of what each major arcana represents. Then he goes into the minor arcana, breaks that down for you. Yeah, I love these cards. His Psychic Tarot and the Psychic Tarot for the Heart decks are one of my top favorite decks to use. And they're beginner friendly. Like I said, I actually, before I even started like using this deck, or before I bought one for my brother for his Christmas gift, this was the deck I used for him, and I was like, I gotta get me one. So I got one, and I love this deck for my love readings too. And for regular readings, it's good for either or. Top 3 would be the Energy Oracle. I love this deck too. You can really go in with this deck. It's really good for your intuition. It's by Sandra and Taylor. Okay. This deck is, when you first get it, I'll be honest, it is hard to shuffle because it's got that sticky effect to it. I don't know what type of print they use. Like a few decks that I have are like that, and I don't really like it because you got to really break it in for it to start shuffling really good, because it's like they'll get really sticky. So that was one thing I had a problem with this deck. But other than that, just outside of like the structure, I mean, the usage of it is good. I like these cards. They're geared around certain energies. I like the different, the cards that they have, cornucopia. They have the chakras in here as well, along with the archangels assigned to each chakra. Archangel Raphael represents the heart chakra. Some of them, personally, I feel like she does add a touch of like tarot type of vibes. The Angel of Strength to me is like the strength card in traditional tarot. A man holding a heart is like the cups to me, the King of Cups. And they also have a woman holding a heart. They have the Sun too, which has like the Sun card effect. They also have the Thinking Woman and the Thinking Man, which to me makes me think of the swords, the King and the Queen of Swords. Goddess of the Moon to me represents the High Priestess. At some, she does add some touch of tarot. She has a woman holding a pentacle and a man holding a coin, which to me, of course, represents the pentacles. A woman holding a coin. And it's got a touch of like the Queen of Wands too, with that black cat next to her. I like this deck. This is a good deck to use. It's very basic, but you can get deep in here and read past what the wording says sometimes too. Like I said, oracle cards are good for that. I like the chakras. I like the fact that they have archangels in them. Like I said, in every guidebook, you're going to have how to work with the cards. Spreads, she does offer 1 card, 3 card, 7 cross, 9 card spread, the rolled spread. And then she has a prayer for you to say before you start reading. Reversals, she does do reversals in this deck. I guess I never really looked at this book. She has upright meanings and reverse meanings. She has an affirmation with each card, because these are geared around energy, and knowing where your energy's at. You usually want to heal, or if there's blockages or things that you need to heal or whatever, she does give you affirmations on that. So that's good. I guess you got to look at your guidebooks. I can't always like brag and say, oh, I don't look at the guidebook. That's not always a good thing. You do want to you know, because it's giving you information for a reason. So it's not always about the meaning, and sometimes the meaning does help you, but you know, there's little touches that are good too. So the Energy Oracle is one of my top 5 favorites. Top 3 that I chose. The Wisdom Oracle is my top 4 fave. This is by Colette Baron-Reid. She has a few decks. I have 2 other decks from her. I have the Good Tarot and I have the Hidden Realms Oracle deck. This deck is one of my favorite decks. I love it. It's so cute. Something about it is like Disney Pixar-ish, like to me. It's like so, it's like childlike. It's got like an inner child vibe to it. This deck was a little bit hard to shuffle too in the beginning because it's got that smooth touch to it. This deck is beautiful to me too. It's like so, I love it. It's like animated, but it's beautiful. I love this card, the Blessed card. With her, I like the different meanings of the cards. You can get a little bit of everything out of these cards, whether you're doing a love reading, a financial reading, whatever. She touches on all of that, and they're very childlike. Like I said, they're like very easy to read, very colorful, easy on the eyes. These are one of my favorite. I love these cards. I love a lot of them. They're just really beautiful. These are popular too. The Energy Oracle is one of the popular decks on YouTube, I feel too. Like a lot of people like the Energy Oracle. I don't really see the Psychic Tarot of the Heart used by too many readers. I've only seen a few readers use it, but I'm sure it's popular. They have a prayer for preparing for reading. She has different spreads, 1 card, 2 card, 3 card, a clarity card. She has 5 different meanings of how you can read each card. She has the essential meaning, which is the core concept of each card. The oracle message, which is a general answer to your question. The relationship message, which is geared around relationships, love, and whatnot. A prosperity message, which is about career, your creative projects, and anything else. Then you have the protection message, okay? She gives you an example of different reading, like she did a reading for someone and she documented what each meaning represented. Then she goes in and she gives you the different meanings of the card, and then the relationship message, the prosperity message. So I like that. It's a pretty thick guidebook, and it's because she has these different interpretations, and I like that aspect too. I actually forgot about that. This deck, my mom is not a reader at all, but she just started playing with them randomly, and then she just randomly gave me a reading, and it was accurate. These are easy to read. I like these. They could be child friendly too, I would say. Like if you have a teenager or a young child that you feel comfortable that wants to read or get to know how to, you know, touch their intuition, I would suggest this deck for them if that's something you're interested in. That is the Wisdom Oracle, and my last but not least, my favorite, the Angel Gods and Goddesses deck. This deck is very powerful too. I would have suggested the Isis. That's my favorite, one of my favorite oracles, but it's not a beginner friendly deck. The Isis Oracle I wouldn't suggest as beginners. This is by Toni, Carmine, Salerno. Hope I'm saying his name right. He has a few decks that are popular on YouTube. He has the romance one, the love one. It's shaped as a heart. He has a few decks. He's also an artist too. So a lot of these, you might see the same pictures in some of his decks, but they'll have the different meanings. So they have the angels messages, they have the goddesses message, and the gods, which are the masculine energy messages. These are these are great cards for like healing messages. Like if it's a serious matter or something that you need help with or healing with, I would use these cards. I've done some very intense readings for myself and with family, people close to me with these cards. I had people cry with these cards. These cards go in. So they're beginner friendly because they have the simple wordings at the bottom, you know, to help you. The colors are, you know, things that pop, that stand out, that you know, you can easily see and help you interpret. Learn colors, what colors mean. Learn numerology. That's the top thing you want to do. Also, like, want to pay attention to the symbols that you're seeing. I pay attention to people's facial expressions, the colors, like I said, the numbers. It always helps to know, like, what's the energy in the cards. But they're very intense for me, but I feel like they're still beginner friendly. With him, of course, he gives you how to meditate and start before you read. And then, of course, with the guidebook, there's these spreads that they offer you. Relationship spread, the Psychic 7 spread, the Celtic Cross spread. Then he gives you each interpretation. He does have prayers with some of these cards. A suggested prayer he'll give you at the bottom of each meaning. Not all of them. Some of them have affirmations and prayers that you can say, which is good. But yeah, it's a pretty basic structure, like all tarot decks. He doesn't really have like too many things outside of the basics, you know, just the meanings and the spreads and whatnot. But he does have those prayers that he drops in there, which are good to help you. This is a good card for healing, for guidance and clarity. Like other oracle decks, you can use them for a wide range of different things in a reading, but it's like, you know, I want to know, Divine Spirit, like, what should I do about this situation with me and my best friend? Like, what should I do? And you shuffle and you ask your guides, your angels. These are good to tap in and consult with your spiritual team, your spiritual guides, those that really love you and got your back and have your best interest in that of others. I would call them in to help you. I use these cards to consult with my guides too. Angel of Space Clearing is saying it's time to clear old and negative thoughts. So, you know, it's real basic, but I don't know. These cards just touch my intuition a little bit differently, where I can kind of see it in many different ways. And that's the beauty of Oracle. Like I said, you can tune in and see Oracle in many different ways. It's not just that basic structure like the tarot. Tarot is always beautiful, of course, but Oracle cards, you can kind of, you can go in a little more deeper. So the pricing of most of these decks, Dorian Virtues, her small, like her basic oracle cards, they don't really cost no more than $15, I believe, like at a store. I had this donated to me, but I already had one. It was in storage at the time, so I accepted the donation. But I had a subscriber donate a deck to me. The first one I bought online, I think it was $17, the Romance Angels deck. This one I bought at a bookstore, I believe. It was $19 in the bookstore. It might be different online. The Energy Oracle card deck, I bought this in a bookstore. This was about, I think this was under $19. It was about $17, $19 at my bookstore. The Wisdom Oracle I bought on Amazon. I can't remember how much I spent for this deck. I want to say under $20. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember. And the Angel Gods and Goddesses deck was actually given to me by a family friend. So it was an unexpected gift. I really like this deck a lot too. Very powerful deck. So those are my top 5 suggested Oracle decks for beginners. I'll figure out other installments, like different, you know, suggestions for beginner readers and things like that. I am thinking about starting a class on either tarot or oracle card readings, maybe both. I'll let you guys know about that, like what am I planning on doing, what, you know. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this and you sat through this 19-minute long ass video. Much love to you guys. Peace.